My name is Deanna Beringer, and I'm with BatCat Press and the Writing and Publishing Department at Lincoln Park Performing Arts Charter School in Midland, Pennsylvania. Today I'm going to be sharing a craft with you, and that craft is a paper ornament. These are awesome for decorating at the holidays, but you can make them for any occasion and use them any time of the year. A cool thing about this project is that it has a bit of a secret, and that secret is that it's collapsible. So when you're done with your decorations, instead of tossing them out, you can actually just close them up and then store them flat until you're ready to use them again. Even though this might look a little bit complicated, this project is actually super simple. You only need a few materials, and once you have the basic pattern down, there are all sorts of little variations that you can try, so you can customize your own ornament. Let's get started. For this project, you'll need some paper. Have at least 3 sheets. You'll need a piece of cardstock, some craft ribbon. I recommend it being 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch wide. You'll need a mini binder clip or a paper clip, either one will work. A glue stick, scissors, and maybe a paper cutter. Quick note on this, if you don't have a paper cutter at home, that's okay. You can totally get by with just a pair of scissors. And finally, this is an optional tool, a bone folder. We're going to be folding a lot of paper, and this tool can really come in handy for making your folds really crisp. When you're gathering your materials for this project, keep in mind that you can use almost any kind of paper. You can use printer paper, craft paper, scrapbooking paper, but I'm a big fan of trying to repurpose papers. So you could use something like junk mail, or you could use pages from a book that's falling apart. The one thing to keep in mind, though, is that you want to choose a paper that really responds well to folding. Some older papers or certain kinds of papers tend to crack or rip if you try to fold them too much. So whatever you choose, take a little piece, fold a corner over, and see if it holds up. If it does, it's great for this project. But if it cracks or if something else weird happens, maybe find a different material. The first thing that you're going to want to do is to prepare your paper. For this project, we are going to be working with perfect squares, so you'll need to cut your sheets of paper down into square shape. I'm cutting mine to be 4 inches by 4 inches. But one of the nice things about this project is that you can scale it up or down, so if yours are a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, that's okay. You'll need 5 squares, and the most important thing is to make sure that they are all the exact same size. Once you have all 5 squares cut out, it's time to start folding. At the end of the folding process, we're going to end up with this shape, which will condense into a smaller square. We're going to go one step at a time so that it's not overwhelming. First, fold your paper in half. This is where a bone folder can come in handy if you have one. Fold the paper in half, make sure the corners and the edges line up as best they possibly can, and if you have a bone folder, use it to compress the fold and make it really crisp. Unfold the paper, and now fold it in half the other direction. Once again, make sure the edges line up as well as the corners. Unfold your paper yet again, and you should be able to see a plus sign folded into your sheet of paper. Turn the paper over, and now fold it on the diagonal. This is going to be the last fold in the process. Use your bone folder to make sure it's really crisp, and then unfold the paper once again. Now there are 3 folds in the paper, and you can see that it's giving the sheet a little bit of flexibility, and this is where the magic is going to happen. You should be able to take the diagonal lines and fold them into the center of the paper, collapsing the square into a smaller square. You can use your bone folder or your fingers to flatten out all of the edges. And that's it. One side of the little square should open up, just like that. Now apply this folding process to all 5 squares. Try to be very precise. Once all of your papers have been folded, it's time to start construction. Look carefully at the folded piece of paper. On one end, you should have a point, and on the other, an opening. As we glue these pieces of paper together, we want to make sure that the openings are all facing the same direction. Get a piece of scrap paper to protect your work surface, and grab your glue stick. Apply glue to one side of the small square. Try not to get glue on the edges or on the inside of the fold, because that will make a mess. Take another square and attach it to the first square on the glued side. Once again, make sure the openings are both facing the same direction. Press firmly so that they adhere to one another. And you can use the bone folder here too to help apply extra pressure. As you can see here, both of the openings are facing the same direction. And on the other side, the folded points are also facing the same direction. Now you're going to continue the process by applying glue to one side of the square and adding the next piece, always making sure that the openings are facing the same direction. Continue this process until all 5 pieces are attached to one another. Once all of the pieces are glued together, check it out. If you've noticed that a little bit of glue has strayed outside of the sides, you can just wipe it off. Next, we're going to cut out and attach the leaves. For this part, we're going to need that cardstock. I'm going to fold my cardstock in half so that I can cut my leaves out both at the same time. You can do this if you want as well, or you can cut them out individually. It's totally up to you. Take your stack of folded papers and place it onto the cardstock. Place it so you're kind of looking at it as though it is a diamond shape as opposed to a square. Now trace that diamond shape onto your cardstock. Put your stack to the side, and now you're going to sketch out a leaf shape on the upper half of the diamond. And this is where you have some artistic license. You can draw any leaf shape that you want. I'm going to keep it simple, but you can try something more elaborate if you want to. Once your leaf is drawn, take your scissors and cut out the leaf shape. Remember, we're trying to maintain the lower half of the diamond so that it matches up with the stack of folded papers. Set your scraps to the side, and now we are ready to glue these on. Grab some scrap paper, as well as your stack, and just like we were doing when you were attaching the folded pieces together, we're going to apply glue to one side of the stack, trying to stay inside the lines so that glue doesn't get everywhere. Now we're going to take one of the leaves and apply it to the stack. Now try to make sure that the bottom point of the leaf aligns with the bottom of the stack, the part that doesn't open. You'll see what I mean in just a second. Now flip the stack over, apply glue to the other side, and attach the second leaf. Be sure to press firmly so that everything adheres. Once the leaves are attached, you can get rid of your gluey scrap paper and check out your ornament. You're almost done. As you can see here, some glue has escaped and some of the pieces are sticking together. That's pretty normal, and if it happens to you, just carefully pull the pieces apart. As the glue dries, you may want to check it every now and then to unstick it. And that's the ornament. We only have a couple small steps left, but as you can see, it is all put together and it operates just like it should, expanding or collapsing depending on what you need. The final step of this project is to attach the clip and ribbon so that you can hang your ornament. You'll need a piece of ribbon that's about 12 inches long and your mini binder clip as well. All you need to do is thread the ribbon through the handles of the binder clip and then tie a knot in the end of the ribbon to secure it. You can find mini binder clips at office supply stores, Walmart, or you might even have one in your junk drawer at home. If you can't find a binder clip, a paper clip can also do the job. You'll still need about a foot of ribbon and a paper clip. Feed the ribbon through the paper clip and tie the ends of the ribbon to secure it. And that's it. The last step is to attach the clip to your ornament. Open the ornament so that the leaves are back to back and use the binder clip to hold the leaves together. And that's it. And if you're not using a binder clip, use the paper clip version of this in the exact same way. Hold the leaves back to back, slide on the paper clip, and you're ready to hang it up. Now that you have the basics of this project down, let's talk about some variations. At the beginning of the video, I mentioned repurposing paper for this project. Here's an example of that happening with some junk mail. Pick paper with bright colors, interesting designs, or words. Mix and match and see what you can come up with. Another variation on this project is to cut the folded stack before you apply the leaves to come up with a new shape for the ornament. I'm going to cut off 3 of the corners and see what happens. I'm going to turn them from 90-degree angles into curves. Now, when I open up my folded papers, it looks a lot more like a flower. Try other patterns or cutting off other parts of the stack and see what kind of shapes you can come up with. If you have a lot of time on your hands, you can create a paper garland to match your ornament. For the garland, you'll need a lot of folded squares. These are taken from an old book that was falling apart. To create the garland, we're going to glue the folded pieces together in a slightly different way. We're going to focus on the opening and what direction it's facing. Instead of the openings all facing the same direction, we're going to alternate. We're going to start by putting the open side facing in a north or 12 o'clock direction. Apply glue to the folded piece. The second folded piece, we're going to turn 90 degrees, and we're going to go in a clockwise direction. So this time, the opening is going to face the right. Apply it to the stack, and then add more glue. We're going to rotate another 90 degrees, and this time, the opening is going to face south or down. Add more glue, and we're going to complete the pattern by having the opening face to the left. Apply it to the stack and press to adhere. Continue gluing folded pieces to the stack until the garland is as long as you need it to be. You can make it just a few feet long, or you could glue hundreds of pieces together and make a really long garland that'll go all the way around your tree. I have about 16 pieces in this stack here, which ended up being about 1.5 feet long. I definitely think I'm going to make this one longer so that I can string it in front of my window. It takes a while to glue all of these pieces together, but in the end, it's worth it. Just like the ornament, the garland is collapsible, so you can compress it and keep it safe until you're ready to use it. To keep all of the pieces together, use a piece of ribbon and tie it up like a little package. Not only are these ornaments and garlands fun to make, but they also look really cool when you put them up. And they also make really great gifts for your teachers, friends, and family members. And that's it! I hope you enjoy trying out this project. And from all of us here at BatCat Press, happy holidays, and we're wishing you all the best in the year to come.